Okay, so we're continuing with standard 11.0 factoring. Factoring is, again, we've been applying this to measuring area in rectangles with our tiles, with difference in squares, etc., which area is distinguished by multiplying. So we're breaking this down to multiplication parts. We've done difference in two squares. We're going to do factoring larger items, four-term items, polynomials with four terms, and also still three terms. So I'm going to teach you a different method. Okay, here are your that quiz codes. If you are done, and only if you are completely done with extra math. If you've done all four math, subtract, multiply, divide, extra math, and they're done, you should be working on your that quiz. If you're unsure, double check with me. Okay. Now, again, terms that you should already know. I will use these terms in our descriptions and if you ask for help, etc. Okay, do now. Xbox method. Now, I'm going to start off these questions. I'm not going to find the complete answer just yet, but I'm just going to fill in the X box. That's what I'm mostly concerned about right now. Okay, so here's our X. Here's our box for the first question. And up top, we're going to have A times C, which is 3 times -2, -6. On the bottom, we'll have -5. And our two mystery numbers are going to be, I think, -6 and +1. Okay, so place these into the box. -6x and +1x. Okay, now I'm not going to put the 6 and the 5 in there. That's not important. The numbers that are important, let me do this in a different color, are this 3x squared. That goes here, 3x squared, and our -2, our C term, -2. Color coordinating, so that way you know the way that the box works. Okay, I'll worry about filling this in later. Again, the box is the most important part, filling it in. Okay, here again, A times C. I'll do the same color as the last one. 1 times 144. We'll have 144. The bottom term we'll have is +24. And our two mystery numbers should be 12 times 12. And when you fill out the box, we'll have 144 here at the bottom right. This one. W squared as, let's do these two. +12W and +12W. And that means the first term should be W squared. Okay. Now I'm just worried about the box for now. Okay. Again, you should be finding your GCF of each row and each column, but we'll worry about that a little bit later. Okay. Now, again, four terms. Before we kind of stopped here, we only had something that looked like this, and this is what we dealt with. Okay. Now we're gonna have a fourth term, so we're gonna need to deal with this in a different way. Well, actually, there's two different ways. I'm gonna jump to the end because I want to use our do now questions. Okay. Now, when you solve this, you're still going to be using your X and not the box. Now, this is a way a lot of you guys have done before and might have seen. Okay. The process is still the same. 3 times -2 up top, -6, and a 5 on the bottom. That still remains the same. The process of finding these two numbers does not change. It should be -6 and +1. Now the way that I write this out changes. I'm just teaching you another method, okay? And this right here, these two numbers will replace that 5x. So I'll rewrite it as 3x squared, and then the -2 at the end, and then these two terms in the middle make up that -5, -6x and +1x. Again, the order doesn't matter. I can switch these two around, but these two terms end up in the middle. See how this was a 5 and now it's going to be these two terms? Okay, I'm going to group them in pairs. So the first two numbers and the last two numbers, I'm going to group them. Okay, GCF of the first group, they are both divisible by 3x. They have a GCF of 3x. So 3x out, and remainders, I should have just an x -2. And in the second group, they have nothing in common. Nothing. So they at least get a positive 1. At the very, very least, they always get something. And the leftovers should be x minus 2. Now, these two items that are left should match. Okay, the ones that are inside the parentheses. These two, x minus 2 and x minus 2, they should match. If they don't match, you didn't do it correctly. Okay, you didn't get the GCF. Okay, those two matching items go together. So these two, x minus 2 and x minus 2, make one group, x minus 2, and 3x plus 1 make another group, 3x plus 1. Those are these two numbers. These two numbers. Okay, now that's the same answer that you'll get from your do now. Okay, now I'm just teaching you another method. Both of them work. It'll make more sense when you have 4 terms. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit. We have our x, 1 times 144 is 144, 24 in the bottom, and 12 and 12. I'll rewrite this as w squared. That's this first term. The last term, 144, plus 144, and the two middle terms, again, this 12 is this 24, so I'll have plus 12w plus 12w, and I'll group them. First group and second group. Okay, this is not my answer. I have to find the GCF of this group. They're both divisible by a w. I have a leftover of w plus 12. And this one, they both have a common factor of 12, a positive 12, and they'll have a leftover of w plus 12. Again, these two match. They should go together. W plus 12. That's one group. And the other group is going to be w plus 12. This is the same question that was in your assignment from last week. Okay. Now, I'm going to go now to the first teacher do. We have 4 terms. Okay, so I'm going to teach you using the grouping method. You need to know more than one method. You need to be able to distinguish how to find different answers. So, first one, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to regroup it, that's all. Okay, so it's a little bit bigger. Let's group them together. First group should be these two, and second group will be these two. So, the first group, what do they have in common? They both have 2 n's. I'll take an n squared out. And the leftovers should be 2n plus 3. 2n times n squared, that works. N squared times 3, that's up there. Okay. Second group, what do they have in common? They both have in common 3. I can take a positive 3 from both of these groups. And when I take a positive 3 from both of these groups, we get 2n plus 3. These should match. Okay, so 2n plus 3, that's one group. And the other group is n squared plus 3. Okay, you have to know how to find your GCF. That's very important. This is a GCF, this is a GCF. Okay, now we've done 3 terms and 4 terms. So we're going to continue on the 4 terms because that's something a little bit different. Okay, so again, same thing. I got 4 terms. I'm going to regroup and find the GCF. Okay, now those of you guys who are like, I don't know how he's getting those numbers out, those GCFs, I'll do a quick review on how to find the GCF. This one, n cubed, is n times n times n. This one is n times n. They both have 2 n's, and that's going to come out. N squared. Okay. The leftovers, this is leftover with a n. And the leftovers for this one look like there's nothing, but I can put a 1 here because I need a placeholder for each piece. So if I multiply this one by 1, nothing changes. Okay. Now here, these can both be factored out as 3 times n, and this one doesn't really have anything, so 3 times 1 is okay.
Nathaniel Patterson, please report to the front office. Nathaniel Patterson, please report to the front office.
The GCF is a 3, and the leftovers are going to be this n and the 1. So this one's going to be n plus 1. Now I know this is correct because these two match, so n plus 1, that's one option, and the other one's going to be n squared plus 3. So I know that's correct because the green ones match. Okay, so this one's a little tricky. When I look at this one, what I notice is it is out of order. Okay, things aren't the way I expect them to be. Okay, so I see this x squared here, so I'm going to want to put this one first. Okay, so I'll have the negative 6x squared because it's a square. I'm now going to go in descending order. Now, it's a little bit confusing because I have an xy, I have an rx, and I have an ry. So I'm guessing both of them are going to have an r and a y, maybe an x and a y. So I'm going to put the 9rx second. So I'll put this positive 9rx second, positive 9rx. I'm kind of going alphabetical. X squared because it's the biggest one, then alphabetical by letters, which is r. And then I'll go with the 12 because xy comes before ry. Well, I want the x's first. So I'll have positive 12x, positive 12xy, and last but not least, I'll have the negative 18ry. Negative 18ry. Now this is a little confusing because it has to be in a very, very specific order. Okay. Now, I went by x's, descending x's. Maybe that's the best way to describe it. X squared, x, or no x's. So that way, you know, it's pretty close. These two both have in common an x and a 3. So I'll take out a 3x. And my leftovers will be 2x plus 3r. From this group, I'll take out, looks like 6y, so positive 6y from this group that I can get out. And my leftovers should be, let's see, 2x minus, divide this one by 6, I'll get 3y. Oh, 3r, sorry, 3r, 2x minus 3r. Okay, now, I did make one mistake right here in the very beginning. This should be a negative 2x. Okay. Now they look almost identical. They are different though. This is plus 3r, this is minus 3r. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch out and take out something a little bit different. I'm going to make this a negative 3x so I can switch the signs. This becomes a positive and this becomes a negative. Now they're exactly the same. I'll have the 2x minus 3r here. That's this one and this one. Now they're the same. And I'll have the last group, which is 3x plus 6y. Okay. Now, I can always check my answers to make sure they work. Let me pause it and show you. Okay, so when I'm checking these items, I put them into the box and multiplied. I did forget this negative 3x over here should be the same as this negative 3x. Forgot the negative, so when I plugged it in, I made sure it worked. When I checked everything, I multiplied, make sure everything matched like it did before. And they all match. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, they're all out of order, but commutative property lets me move things around. Okay, now, okay, so this last piece, grouping. Okay, we're going to group things again. Not so bad. First group, 1, 2. Last group, 1, 2. Okay, so what do these have in common? This will be a times b. This one's going to be negative 1 times 3 times a. So from this group, they both just have an a. I'll take an a out. And the leftovers are going to be b here, b, and then minus 3. Next one is going to be 3 times b, and this one's going to be negative 1 times 3 times 3. They both have in common a 3. I'll take that out. So positive 3, and then I'm going to have leftover a b minus 3. So b minus 3 and leftovers a plus 3. Okay, check your work, peanut box. Okay, this is your lesson for the rest of the day. Finish your math bits, the assignments we did yesterday, rev prep, factor and quadratic for the leading coefficient other than 1. Okay.